This is 250s for America's 250th, where we highlight the 250th issues from our favorite comic series. Today we're trading the capes for cold steel, Conan the Barbarian number 250, cover dated November of 1991. It's a milestone issue near the end of a remarkable run, with the man who started it all back in the writer's chair. Let's set the stage. Marvel's Conan the Barbarian was a phenomenon. It ran from 1970 all the way to 1993, more than 270 issues, and it proved sword and sorcery could thrive in comics. By the time the book reached number 250, it was in its twilight years. And fittingly, founding writer Roy Thomas, the man who first brought Conan to comics, had returned to guide the Cimmerian toward the finish line. This anniversary issue is called Chaos Beneath Kutchemes. Conan rides alongside two formidable allies, the fierce warrior Red Sonja and the warrior Zula, nearing the end of a quest for untold riches. But treasure is never freely given in the Hyborian Age. Before they can claim it, they have to face the warlord Zug and his bloodthirsty Zugites in brutal combat. Roy Thomas, as he so often did, weaves threads of Robert E. Howard's original prose into the comic, keeping this late run anchored to the pulp roots that started it all. Unlike most of our entries, Conan wasn't born in comics at all. He was created by the writer Robert E. Howard and first stalked onto the page in a prose story called The Phoenix on the Sword, published in the pulp magazine Weird Tales in December of 1932. A wandering Cimmerian, thief, mercenary, pirate, and eventually king, carved out by his own hand in a savage, mythic age, Howard's Barbarian became the template for an entire genre. Conan came to comics in 1970, when Marvel launched Conan the Barbarian #1, adapted by that same Roy Thomas, with breathtaking early art from a young Barry Windsor Smith. And a few years later, in 1973, the very same creative pairing introduced a character who'd become a legend in her own right, Red Sonja, the warrior woman, debuting in Conan the Barbarian #23. She was loosely inspired by another Howard creation, and she rides right alongside Conan in this very issue. It's hard to overstate how big Conan became at Marvel. The success of the color comic spawned Savage Sword of Conan, a black and white magazine that let the stories run bloodier and more grown up, and a whole wave of barbarian and sword and sorcery titles across the industry. Conan carried Howard's pulp vision to millions who'd never picked up a copy of Weird Tales, and helped set the stage for the character's leap to Hollywood and the famous Arnold Schwarzenegger films of the 80s. The talent on this issue carries weight too. Roy Thomas isn't just Conan's comics architect. He succeeded Stan Lee as Marvel's editor-in-chief, co-created Red Sonja, the Vision, and Ultron, and helped shape countless corners of the Marvel Universe. On art, Mike Docherty pencils with the great Ernie Chan, a longtime Conan mainstay on inks, and a striking cover by Steve Lightle. As a collectible, this one stays affordable. It's a common early 90s book. Raw near-mint copies generally run between $5 and $12, and a high-grade CGC 9.8 tends to land in the $40 to $80 range. The value is the milestone itself, a 250th issue, late in a legendary run with the founding writer back home. If you want to read it, it's collected in Conan the Barbarian, the original Marvel Years Omnibus Volume 10, the final book of that original Marvel run. And Conan today? The Barbarian never really rests. His comic rights have wandered between publishers over the decades. Marvel, then Dark Horse, back to Marvel, and most recently Titan Comics, who relaunched Conan the Barbarian in 2023 to strong reviews. Nearly a century after Howard first dreamed him up, the Cimmerian still swings his broadsword across new pages. Before we lock up, a quick word on sources. Today's spotlight is Conan the Barbarian #250 from 1991. Conan himself was created by Robert E. Howard and first appeared in the story The Phoenix on the Sword in Weird Tales magazine in 1932. Then came to comics in Conan the Barbarian #1 in 1970 from Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith. That same duo introduced Red Sonja in Conan the Barbarian #23 in 1973. That's our 250th for today. We'll see you tomorrow as we count down the 250ths for the 250th.